So really excited. We're going to bring up Donna Kendrick first to the stage. Can we welcome Donna Kendrick? Woohoo! The stairs are over here, unfortunately. So so Donna is coming up, and
thank you, love.
Welcome to the lounge.
Why, thank you.
So, Donna, you have inspired me in massive, massive ways. Could you share a little bit about your story of what led you to do the work that you do?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm from Philadelphia, so you have to know that for the story. But wound up, educated, went to Penn State. I'm a very friendly statistician. That's what we are. And wound up giving up my career to follow my husband abroad. He worked for Homeland Security. Spent 7 years abroad, lovely blessings, came back home stateside, moved back to the Philadelphia area, and my husband passed away. And I was like, shit. I have an 8-year-old, I have an 11-year-old, I have a 12-year-old, I make $17,000 a year working part-time. What am I going to do? Took 2 years, continuing to work part-time, making sure my babies were set. And I knew, I had a financial planner at the time who said, you have 2 years. That's what you can financially support. Then you got to go back to work, and you need to make X amount of money. Be ready for it. Now, that was actually a blessing, because he put some money aside for me to go back to school, and I decided to flip my career upside down on its head. And I became a financial planner, just like my financial advisor did, specializing in advice for families in transition, widowhood, divorcees, career changers. How many of us in the room are career changers, right? When you've done it, now you're back at zero, and you're like, how do I do it again? That's it. And blended families. Worked under that financial advisor for about 3 years. Mentored me, got my CFP, it was wonderful. But really wanted to niche my market and really wanted to do things differently. Not that traditional financial advisor way, wealth manager, stuffy. I wanted to bring love back into financial planning, and he was a little resistant. So it's 2020, and we're in COVID. And I'm like, I think I'm going to go hang my own shingle. I think I have to do this my way. And I'm going to do the polite way. I was told it was a misguided decision. So
remember, the comfort seducer can come from outside us, inside us.
Yeah. And that's the one thing you do to a girl from Philadelphia, is tell her no, like, yeah. Like, do you ever give, like, I have a 140-pound Newfoundland, and when he gets the ball, when we're playing, he, like, gets up, and he shakes his butt, and he's like, yeah, you're not going to get me. That was me. For the whole next year, shaking my butt, being like, watch me do it. Yes. And I did. I kept 98% of my clients. I hung my own shingle. I loved it. And a year later, I thought, wait, how do I do it bigger? How do I do it more? How do I get this message out? Because during COVID, you have to think financial advisors, we were only licensed in a few states. But COVID hit, and we could get licensed pretty quickly and reach so many people over Zoom. How do I get that message out? And then I happened to get a free invitation to Sara's Write and Grow Rich. And I sat there. I was in the Zoom room. Many of you were sitting there live. And I was like, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a book. Now, I'm a statistician. I'm not a writer. That was my sister. But how am I going to do it? I signed up, and I followed the 12-week, write your book in 12 weeks.
So if you come in, there's like, we have the write your book in 12 weeks. It can be 6. It can be, whatever. So Donna said, I'm doing 12.
Yep. And there I was, my Newfoundland with my butt in the air again, like, watch me go. And I did. 12 weeks later, I was sitting with my content editors, Mary. I was so blessed to work with Hannah too, and we flipped it. And my book was produced in June, and I had a #1 bestseller, and it was lovely. Yep. And then what you don't realize what will happen when you get that energy going, I was invited to speak on stage with other financial advisors to teach them how to niche their marketplace and do financial planning with a heart-centered lead. The whole thing I was told not to do because it was misguided. Like, who thought that? Like, my ideal market was widows, right, and families in transition. And I followed the process, and I kept going. And then I was like, all right, this is working. I actually wound up having an investor who came into my financial planning process and was like, we like what you do. Like, we saw your book. like, we're going to invest in your company. And I was like, great. Oh my God. Like, didn't think that was going to happen. And then I sat still. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get this financial thing going, right? Forget the mission, right? Because I need to keep this house in order. And that's when Oracle came up. And I was like, I'm just going to stay in my lane. Like, I'm just going to stay safe. I know I can do this financial planning stuff. But the mission, the reaching out, helping people with grief, helping them get their decisions, okay, I have to, right? If I don't do it, I am not serving anyone, right? And that's when I joined Oracle, because I was like, I need to make this bigger. I have to go outside of myself. And that's the only way to really do it.
Can we honor Donna's journey, right? And talk about a movement. And so you were again told, what I love, Donna, in your story, because it calls me forth, is you had all the people in your industry telling you, you can't hang your own shingle. And then they told you, don't do the book because of compliance. And then they said, don't start the grief groups, because Donna's now running in-person and virtual groups for women who've lost their husbands or families in transition of other kinds. And every time, thank God, you've got that Newfoundland spirit. We're going to remember you forever, just like, give me the ball. Donna, what was the thing for you in writing? Because it is a commitment to write the book. So would you just share that? Because you used a strategy, you made a commitment, you enrolled the family. So do you want to share, just in case anyone wants to use that strategy?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We were like a newly blended family, kids, I guess when this started, 11 to 20, all under one roof. And I was like, how do I find peace and effing quiet to write this? And I would wake up at 4 a.m. every day to write until I'd go to work. I'd also sat with my family down, all of them, and said, this is what I'm doing. I need the 3 months. Please know I'm going to step away a little bit. Is that okay? What can you all do to help step up and support one another? That was the blessing. So there would be days that my husband would come down at 4 a.m. on a Saturday writing. He'd be like, get in the car. And he would drive me up to the Poconos, if anyone knows that area in Philadelphia, and I would just sit in the trees on a deck and write, because he knew I would stop, I would take someone to soccer, I would make a meal, I would do something, and he's like, just go. Just go. What a blessing. And he would leave me alone, right? Because he's a talker. Imagine the two of us in a room. Imagine. And he would leave me alone, and that's where I got a bulk of the inspiration and the work done.
Donna Kendrick, everyone. Yes, that is absolutely awesome.
I'm so proud of you.
And this is only the beginning. You can see Donna, it's like the speaking, the TV, like just thank you. Thank you for being